How do? Welcome back to Edgar TV Travel Vlog World Masters Edition. Zach coming over to Jodie's mum's a day early so we could meet up and watch him play chess and chat to his girlfriend on the phone. We did go down to Stansted though the very next day, and there is a bit of a video available on my TikTok channel, Matthew Edgar 170. I'll put a link in the description down below if you want to check that out. It's regarding getting darts through an airport. It's very interesting actually. Maybe want to check out because I was actually surprised at the outcome of it. Now, we did have a transportation taking us down to our accommodation where we trashed it. Within a day, we absolutely trashed the place. How did we make so much mess? I do not know. We literally got everything out the bags and just sort of chucked it all around the room. We did get the ironing board out, or make an ironing board, shall I say. Put a towel over the table so we could get all the clothes ready, get the shirts done, the trousers done, everything done and dusted before heading out to the city, as we do, to find some amazing food. And boy, did we find some amazing food. Check out this barbecue platter. Absolutely incredible. Really good value as well. One of the things I talk about quite a bit is the value of places when we're out and about going abroad. But Budapest was one of the more cheaper locations. I know I did this sort of comment earlier on and people weren't so sure of it, but Budapest for me is cheaper. Night one, I can tell you, the fans of who hangs up first, it was indeed Zach. Zach hung up first. If you're unfamiliar with what Who Hangs Up First is, it's basically Zach and his girlfriend that like a bunch of 12-year-olds, and they refuse to hang up from each other, and they sit on the phone going, you hang up, no, you hang up. Zach hung up first. And you know what? This has become a real feature of these vlogs. Quite often now, wherever we go, we get people come up to us and go, who hung up first last night? So I'm going to keep including it. Zach clearly not embarrassed by it, so we're going to keep bashing it. And don't worry, there is more Who Hangs Up First after the darts. So, daytime, we walked down to the venue. This for me is very important. I like to just stay outside with the main sort of area in which the darts is played, just to stay away from the full-on being around darts all the time, dart player conversations, all those sort of things that go on. Now, first impressions when I got down to the World Masters, I loved it. I liked the fact they put this extra bit of effort in to sort of try and capture the history, the 48 years of the event, get some shirts up, get some memorabilia. I like the bollards in the way that they've decorated them, just to remind you of the history and the prestige of the event of which you are playing in. Now, this is the second event I've been to in Hungary, and they don't half like to risk it. Remember last time I went to Lake Balaton and it was a thunderstorm outside? Again, outdoor seating, so they really do trust the weather over there. You'd never do this in the UK, absolutely not. But outdoor seating, facilities wise though, not bad. Plenty of practice boards. I was practicing most of the time with Connor Scott and with Zach, getting some good games and routines into play. Now, there's not a lot of footage, so I'm going to try and talk over the very few clips that I've got. These clips are the only ones I've got available of playing darts across the 3 days of play. So the 3 days I played was day number 1, the World Masters group stage. Day number 2 was the knockout, and day number 3 was the World Open. What you're seeing here is a collaboration of different games across those various events. So overall, mixed in regards to how I feel about the games. We'll get to that in a second. Setup. Plenty of space, all darts connect, decent lighting. The one thing was the heat. It was so hot in there. That was because they had the radiators on at parts of the day as well. That's something you can't really always control, the heating, so it's something that we're not really going to mark it down on. But overall, facilities and catered for really, really well, just like you'd expect at an event such as the World Masters. So, before we break this down and we look into the days and the averages and the stats, I can tell you, day 2, Zach hung up first. He's hung up first twice. 2 days he's hung up first. Now, what we need to do is we need to look at the games and the performances now. So you've just had a little look there. I've just told you day 1 went right. So this is where it sort of breaks down a little bit. Day 1 was decent. First game missed a couple of doubles, ended up with like an average in the 70s, but I felt it was better than it looked. Game number 2 and 3, averages of 87. Again, a couple of missed doubles. In this short format game, you miss a few doubles, it pulls it right down. And then my last game in the group, I played a Polish guy. I had a 94 average. It was a good game. Both played really well. Very reactive to play. I was very encouraged after this. I topped the group, losing just 3 legs. So I felt really encouraged in this going into day 2. Day 2, knockout stage, game 1, I knew I weren't right. I knew I weren't right before I even got to the game. So if you know that I've been struggling with injury over time in the wrist, with the nerve, tendonitis, it's an endless list of problems I've got with that arm right now. Some days it works, some days it doesn't, and I knew it weren't working on day 2, so I was trying to fight through as many games as I could, get as far as I could, and hope that I could get through to the finals day, and then things could be put right for then. I ended up winning the first 2 games, average sort of mid-80s, but never really felt like I was playing well. Even though I had good moments, back-to-back 180s in the deciding leg, for example, I felt, even though sometimes the darts was landing, I never felt in control of that, and that's just the downside of it, unfortunately, at times. World Open, I probably shouldn't have played it. This is the difference. I was preparing for that event on the Friday, thinking, should I play, should I not play, rather than thinking, how far can I go? And that was just the switching mentality that I had on that day, that maybe I should have pulled out. But when you're there and you got the opportunity, you got the chance, you look at the possibility, maybe it'll get better as the day goes on. So I've just got to understand my body a little bit more at times and just listen to it. So not good in regards to that, but I got to the last 32 of the Masters, some decent performances along the way, but that now gave us time, because we booked till Sunday, because I, as always, would expect to get through to the latter stages. Of course you do. You don't go there planning to not get to the latter stages. So it meant we had a spare day. You know what? Deciding what things to put in this vlog and what to show is quite tricky, because normally we're there for a couple of days. This time we're there for like nearly a week. So why not show you the food again? Because we went back. Of course, we didn't go to the same place over and over again. We went there a few times. That's what me and Zach do. We like repetition. We also went to KFC. We went there once, twice. Okay, went 3 or 4 times. But we know what we like. And that's the thing. When you know what you like, why gamble? Why risk it? We did try a little bit of the local cuisine, though. I'll show you that a bit later on. We did also sample the area, which is something we don't always get time to do, to go out and get a bit of sightseeing in. And we did, and we were so grateful we did, actually, because we had a great time in Budapest. We had a walk around the River Danube. I believe I'm saying that correctly. Probably not. We went around the marketplaces. We had a good little look around the area. We also sampled a few cocktails. Now, Zach is traditionally a non-drinker. I mean, look at the size of him. He can't really handle much. So you can imagine with cocktails, they went to him quite quickly. And to be fair, they went to him far too quickly, because he actually then started just hurling abuse at passing boats that we was sat next to, which completely out of character for Zach. So we took him out of there, got him a chimney cake, which is one of the local cuisines, and took him back for a bit of a nap, because I think he needed to sleep it off. We did manage to get up, though, and go out and sample a little bit more at the night time, and that is great. Like, the city looks amazing. Budapest, if you haven't been, I highly recommend it if you're into like architecture and sort of culture and scenery. But one thing, if you're going to go out on a boat ride, don't do what me and Zach did, where you expect to just turn up and walk straight onto a boat. All the good boats had sold out at this point, which was probably one of the most depressing boat rides we've ever been on. We were sat there watching these boats go past us. They had entertainment on there, they had bars on there, food. Some people are having 3-course meals on their boats. They're having a great time. Not me and Zach. Our boat was literally just a few seats. I'm surprised we didn't have to row it ourselves. It literally was like, we went up and went, have you got any space left on your boat? They said, yes, we have, but to get to our boat, you've got to go through this boat and climb onto the other boat. And we thought, what can possibly go wrong? It's a boat. And we went out, we sat on this boat, and we went round, and it was like, facilities was nothing. It was, even the audio wasn't in English, and what we had to download it onto one of our phones and then listen to it on the phone, which we didn't even do on that. So we ended up just going on like a boat ride up and down the river, which so if you are interested in going on that tour, book it. You get bars, you get restaurants, you get all sorts of facilities. You have a great time. Or if you just turn up like we did, you just go around on a boat, and it's, yeah, wasn't quite what we was hoping for. Going home, we managed to catch the early morning flight, which meant we had to be up to get a taxi to the airport at 5 a.m. in the morning. But it did mean we got back to the UK a little bit earlier, which meant we had the day on the Sunday to do bits that we wanted to do and sort of get a bit of the time back. We got back home for about 12 o'clock on the Sunday, so we managed to get a good bit of time and get the week started. So that was the World Masters. Overall, a little bit disappointing. I did update my ranking a little bit, got a few points on the board. We know I'm confirmed for Lakeside. That will now be my next event. Now, this has took a little bit of time to put this vlog together because I didn't know what direction I was going to go with it until I went and spoke to the physio. I have now spoke to the physio. I put this out on my social media to let people know that I will not be playing the Super Series now as previously advised, and I have to manage this properly because the injury flared up again while I was away. Now, it is going to be okay. I am going to be able to play Lakeside. I'm just going to have to prepare for it slightly different. So I'm not going to be playing Super Series. I'm not going to play in any more tournaments, but I will. Everything now is just blinkered viewed to get ready for Lakeside. That's what I can tell you at this point in time, and that's what we're going to be doing. As far as the Masters goes, I've now played in it. You know, it's a historic major event. Does it still have the weight it used to have? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But big well done to Plazier, who joins a list of players now who's won it twice. Can't take that away from him. He's then gone and won a Pro Tour as well in the meantime. So a very worthy World Master once again in Wesley Plazier. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, please do drop a like on this. If you aren't subscribed, subscribe. Got loads of interesting content coming between now and the new year. So I'll catch you soon for some more Edgar TV.